Hare Krishna, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
We
Hare
hope
Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Only
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Nitai Sir.
including me, 8. Everyone knows about this class, right? Today, midweek.
Yes, Mataji. Actually, after seeing your message, we remember. Actually, I know, but I kind of forgot. Just came from work and saw the message.
Right. I hope we'll join soon. We can send another text. Okay, we'll get started. We're going to cover, we are at the home stretch, last 4 verses of Shri Ishopanishad. We'll try to cover maximum. I have the slides again, so we'll try to target to cover all 4 because they're all prayers. And 2 prayers together and 2 prayers together. And if I do the 3rd prayer, then obviously the 4th prayer goes along with the 3rd. So that way we should cover everything. And Saturday we can keep for further discussions on the entire overview, or if you have any question and answers, a lecture of instruction also we can cover as an overview. Again, using the same slide that I have from the one slider. From there we can go. As I'm thinking, there are about 50 plus slides that we have to cover. Most of it, you all are aware of the messages that are told in these purports that Srila Prabhupada has written. The verses are unfamiliar to us because we don't read them often. However, because Prabhupada has written and it has been added as a Bhakti Shastri course, Prabhupada has translated and it is added as a Bhakti Shastri course, we are reading to get a flavor of what the Shruti scriptures speak about the Lord. They're very indirect in speaking the personality of Godhead. However, this particular book also describes the Supreme Personality of Godhead as being a person. Although it very indirectly starts off with an indirect reference to the Lord as all existing, all pervading, Purnam and all, mostly referring to the impersonal aspect. So an impersonal Jnani want to depict the Lord as impersonal. However, this particular text definitely is talking about the person who is behind the impersonal refrigerants. So this set of verses speak about that basically. That there is a person and we are praying to that person. So the mantras 15, 16, 17 and 18 are the prayers by devotee who go to the 15th mantra. So last set of verses we spoke about how to worship the Lord. First of all, how to develop the knowledge about the Lord, then how to worship the Lord, then followed by now the prayers of the devotee and how to attain the Lord. Okay, mantra 15. The verses are comparatively nicer to recite from previous ones. I will do one thing and recite all the verses from the Ishopanishad because I really like the last 2 verses as well as these 2 first 2, 15, 16, 17. I'm not sharing Vedaves, but I will share my slides in a bit. Let me share the Vedaves on the I'll just recite the prayers to start off and then we'll go into each verse. Mantra 15. Hiranmayena patrena sasyasyapi hitam mukham. Oh, we didn't do invocation, right? Sorry. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunnilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shumivadi Vashyate Deshadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, Mantra 15 onwards. हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सस्यस्यापि हितं मुखं तत्त्वं पूषाणमपनो सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये पूसान्निकर्षयमा सूर्यप्रभा प्रजापत्या युहारास्मिन् महुह तेजो यत्ते रूपं कल्याणतमं तत्ते पश्यामि योऽसौ असौ पुरुषसोऽहम् अस्मि वायोरनिलम् अमृतम् अतेदं भस्मान्तं शरीरम् ॐ कृतो स्मरा कृतं स्मरा कृतो स्मरा कृतं स्मरा अग्नेनाया सुपतरणे अस्मन् विश्वानि देवा वायुनानि विद्वान् योयोध्यस्माज्जुहुरन् एव एनो भूयिष्ठं तेन मुक्तिं विधेम. So those are the verses. We'll recite the verses again and the translations as we go into it. Which verse? Verse Mantra 15. Mantra 15, it's talking about removing a curtain of veil. Hiranmayena patrena. There is a Hiranmaya. It's a veil that is existing to see the Lord. So the devotee is praying to remove that veil from the face of the Lord. That means the impersonal effulgence of the rays of the impersonal effulgence are so much covering the devotee. He's not able to see the Lord. So he's asking, he's appealing. It's this prayer, this mantra is an appeal to the Lord to remove that curtain, to remove that veil. So we can see the face of the Lord. That means this text talking about the personality of Lord, even though it is hinting towards the impersonal aspects of the Lord. It is the personality of the Lord that the devotee wants to see by requesting to appeal, by making an appeal to remove that veil. So, mantra 15 and 16, prays to the Rosh to show his form. 15th verse mantra talks about removing that Hiranyamayena Patrena. We'll go into the details. So, connection is mantra 14 say that one must perfectly know the Supreme Lord to attain the perfection. So, Sambhutim and Asambhutim. Like Sambhutim is the absolute independent Lord, and Asambhuti is that is which is dependent on the Lord. The impersonal effulgence as well as the Paramatma, as well as any conditioned controller of that exists in the universe, everyone is dependent on the Lord. Sambhuti and Asambhuti. Now, who is that Sambhuti is what this verse talks about. The mantra 15 explains that this can be done when one goes beyond the impersonal Brahmajyoti to attain the Bhagavan realization. So beyond the Brahman effulgence, there is Bhagavan. So one has to realize that. Main theme is the Lord Krishna is the ultimate source and maintainer of all spiritual and material manifestation. And he engages in variegated relationship with his devotees. Okay, so going beyond the light. Hiranyamayena patrena sasyasyapi hitum mukam tattvam pushanam apapano Satya dharmasya drishtaye, dharmaya drishtaye. O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. So, this is a pure devotee who is appealing to the Lord to remove that effulgence, because we cannot see anything when there is effulgence, right? There is bright light. What can we see? Just we can close our eyes and not able to see anything. We just to make our eyes so small so we can see. We try to see something. So the impersonal effulgence is like that. We cannot really see anything. It's rays, full of rays, effulgent, but not really that we can perceive anything from that. So the Brahman aspect, that's the impersonal Brahman aspect. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, references 14:27, he speaks of Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Open the verse 14:27. Anybody wants to read? Can also pull up the verses.
Hare Krishna Mataji, we're referring to Bhagavad Gita 14:27. Okay. It's Brahmano hi pratishthanam pratistaham.
Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya amritasyabyasya cha sashvatasya cha dharmasya sukai sukasyaikantikasyai cha. It's tongue twisting because this is the final verse of the Modes of Material Nature chapter. Krishna says, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. So he's established himself as the constitutional, he is the basis of Brahman aspect. So, and Pusan and Paramatma aspect, 1042. What is 1042? Come on, guys.
अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुना विशताभ्याम् इदं कृष्णम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत्.
Yeah. And what need is there, Arjuna, for all that this detailed knowledge? With a fragment, single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So so after showing his now before showing his Brahma universal form, Krishna explained about his vibhutis, right? 10th chapter. And finally, as he explained all the prominent things, he is the most prominent one. He finally says, what is the use of I pervade the entire thing by ekam sena sito jagat, by a single fragment of myself. So he has established that he is the basis of everything that exists in this universe, from the Brahman perspective, as well as everything that is there in the universe. And what is 7:7? Pushan. Pushan, Upanishad may look like they are pointing to Brahman, but ultimately Bhagavan. They may point to something like impersonalist will be very his tendency to describe, yes, this is the Lord, this is impersonal Lord. There is nothing to personality there's nothing as a person behind this description. So Lord is impersonal, doesn't have any features, is Nirguna, Nirakar, and whatever you want to add as a definitions. What is the 7:7?
Mata partaram nanyat kinchat asti dhanajaya mayi sarvamidam proktam sutramani ganaiva.
Yeah. So that is, I pervade the entire universe just as the pearls are strung on a thread. That means he is the thread that runs across and all the pearls are stuck on him. So in the sense that he exists everything. So even though Brahman effulgence may seem all in all, but there is a person behind it who's maintaining everything. So Upanishads are like that. Even though Upanishads, they ultimately define the Lord, but they orient towards the impersonal aspect of the Lord. So in the purport, if you read the purport of this verse, Prabhupada explains what is Bhagavan. And Rupa Goswami's definition of Bhagavan is explained. The Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is this Bhagavan? Is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is Anandamaya Abhyasat. is most auspicious feature. Person who has many relationships, the 5 prominent relationships that we know of. There are activities that he performs. There are qualities that he has. He is supreme, Satchit and Ananda. Descends to material world to attract Gyanis and Yogis. Does not personally let any involved with creation and maintenance. Because there are people who do that. Who are they? Creation maintenance. Who are the personalities that involve in the creation and maintenance?
Brahma for
Brahma.
creation and maintenance,
Brahma.
Vishnu.
Yeah, creation is by Brahma. He is recreating, is Visarga only. He is doing Visarga. Sarga is done by the Lord. Visarga is done by Vishnu. I'm sorry, Brahma. And then he maintains as well. Vishnu enters into each and every atom, into each and every universe, into each and every soul, into each and every atom as Shirodakshai Vishnu and maintains it. He doesn't necessarily, the Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of God, it does not do his expansions and plenary expansions. He does that. And he's also existing as a Paramatma. That who is the Paramatma inside each soul? I just said it is Shirodakshai Vishnu, right?
Yes.
So Brahman, Paramatma, and in 1:12, 1 to 11, Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, 11th verse, it talks about Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Shabdate. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 3 ways in which the original Supreme Lord can be described. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, and Bhagavaniti. What is Brahman? This impersonal Brahman intelligence, or the Brahman, the Supreme Lord, who is cause of all causes. Paramatma is the realization that he exists in each and every soul. And Bhagavan is the all complete. So Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. This is Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Shabdati. So this, the absolute truth, by learned sages describe the absolute truth, that which is as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. That is 1 to 11. Now Brahman is the aspect most easily perceived by the beginner, because everything is the Lord. Wherever you see the effulgence in the sky, whatever is that, that's a very beginner, because he doesn't have a relationship with the Lord. At least he's starting there, that everything is Lord and I can perceive Lord, which is very good. So, on the path of transcendence. So that's the beginner. Paramatma is the yogi who reflects on his super soul, on the super soul, and understands that the Lord exists in each and every soul, as in each and every soul, as and there is non-different. All the Lord that exists, and the spirit soul is non-different, the same quality, and Lord exists in each and every soul. So that's the realization a yogi has. And one who has further progressed, the Bhagavan realization is ultimate realization, the absolute. That's the difference between the beginning to the Bhagavan realization. So Krishna also says, one can understand me as I am only by performing devotional service. If one wants to see the absolute truth in full, he has to penetrate beyond the 24 elements and the glaring effulgence as well. So if we want to develop that, if you want to be stuck at that impersonal Brahman effulgence, but yogis do that, but we want to go beyond that, and there are layers and layers, right? If we want to go beyond it, there are 24 elements that covering this universe. We saw in last session that there are 5 types of coverings that cover the entire universe, and each one has a 10 times higher width compared to the previous one. So those 24, and it is made of the 24 elements. Those 24 elements and the glaring effulgence as well, one has to see the absolute truth. So Ishopanishad points towards this direction, praying for the removal of the Hiranmaya Patra, the dazzling covering. Unless this covering is removed, no one can perceive the personality of Godhead, and is a factual realization the absolute truth can never be attained. Okay, so the realization of the Lord's, so the purport is made into the slides here, because the purport proper takes us lengthy purports, and sometimes it is repetitive. So whatever has to be taken as essence are laid out here. The realization of the Lord's potencies, One who has no knowledge of the potency of the Supreme Truth will realize the impersonal Brahman. When one realizes the material potencies of the Lord, but has little or no information on the spiritual potencies, he attains a Paramatma realization. But when one realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, in full potency, after the removal of Hiranmaya Patra, one realizes Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. That is 719. Lord Shri Krishna, who is known as Vasudeva, is everything, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. He is Bhagavan, the root, and Brahman and Paramatma are his branches. Krishna only says in 719, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Whoever reaches him after going through and he realizes that he is the all in all. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Okay, this might be so small for you guys, but if I expand, we go through various aspects in terms of a materialist, impersonalist, yogi, and devotee. There's a process to ascertain the truth. How do each one do it? The materialist, how does they ascertain the truth? And what does he perceive? Impersonalist versus all the way to devotee. And what is his realization of God's potencies, each one? And what is his relationship with God? And how does the Lord reciprocate with him? So, the process to ascertain the truth for a materialist is he wants to see his senses. Whatever he has, his senses, he perceives with them. Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha is something that he can see and only perceive it. So, the deity form, materialist can also pray to the Lord, right? So, they only think the Lord exists in my home and I can only approach him through the deity, but like that. So, very, very gross form. In the sense, like they want to see only to believe it. So, senses are pratyaksha. Pratyaksha is direct viewing. Impersonalists, they go, Gyanis, they do Anuman. Anuman, there are three types of understanding the truth, right? Pratyaksha, Anuman, and Shabda Praman. Shabda Praman is by the scriptural reference. Anuman is by speculation. Speculation is mental. It's mentally speculating. Okay, maybe it is this, maybe it is that. Gyanis do that. Because most of it they understand through the Sankhya, right? They want to speculate. And the yogi from the 6th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Dhyana Yoga, the yogi is the one who does the Ashtanga Yoga meditation, and he meditates on the Lord based on the what he has heard from he reads and then he does the meditation. He meditates in a form that is Shabda Praman. Whereas the devotee performs devotional service, also has a Shabda Praman in terms of the scripture, which is the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is how they ascertain the truth. And what does he perceive by doing such way? They only look at the elements, the 24 elements, materialists. They only say, okay, everything is this. You cannot see anything beyond this. It's all I can see, and this is my life. And Gyanis and impersonalists, they perceive it as supreme, Brahman, spirit. There is something in this Brahman effulgence, that is where they are going to. And the yogi perceives the Lord as Paramatma and devotee as the Bhagavan. What is the realization of God's potencies? For a materialist, it doesn't think, because he can achieve everything on his own. He can enjoy, he can get wealth, he can produce children. So he thinks that he can do all by his might. So he has no faith in the Lord. Then in the Jnani understands the Lord by Sat, Chit, and Ananda, right? Sat is the truth, that he knows that there is Lord, and that is what he is able to perceive. So he's influenced by the Sat potency. Chit is, and the yogi also understands Sat Chit, which is where he understands that there is the Lord who exists in each and every living entity. So that is how he goes one step beyond. And for the devotee, there is Ananda aspect also. He gets the bliss then in performing devotional service, in singing kirtan, in chanting japa, in honoring prasadam, we get bliss. So that's what devotee is perceiving. A relationship with the devotee, with the Lord, for these four people is almost forgotten for a materialist. And a Jnani denies that there is no Lord, so there is no relationship. everything is Maya. That's what they propose, right? There's nothing, because there is no Lord who can reciprocate, so they deny the relationship, even though they want to, but they deny it. Yogis acknowledges the presence of the Lord, but his relationship is not activated because he sees them inside the heart. He knows that there is Lord, but there is nothing that he can do much more than that. He just contemplates on the Lord. And a devotee, he has exchange personal, and he does service, and he gets reciprocation from the Lord as well, in terms of the mercy that comes from the devotees, in terms of the ananda that one experiences by doing any small act of devotion service. That's the reciprocation of the Lord. So again, the reciprocation is there as the last item. So with the relationship, there is a reciprocation. So Paramatma, by fulfilling his desire, so nothing moves without the sanction of the Lord, right? Even a blade of grass doesn't move. So for a materialist also, Lord has to sanction. He gets sanctioned by his desires based on his qualifications. Whatever he deserves, he'll get it. He fulfills, and the yogi, as Jnani, fulfills his desire for liberation. And the yogi smiles. Yogi, for him, satisfies his desire for mystic powers. He wants to understand, he will get some mystic powers by concentrate on the Lord. And then their devotee reciprocates with his love and receives acknowledgement for their more rasa, fulfilled spiritual desires. Like that. So these are the aspects from how each person understands the Lord. So yeah, that's finally what concludes this mantra is, there is the person beyond this. And Prabhupada goes through a lengthy purport to take us to that point, that the Supreme Lord is not just the effulgence. And the devotee is praying to remove that effulgence so he can see the form of the Lord. Because that's what there is, that is where he can get some bliss. Otherwise, it becomes very impersonal. There's no, but the devotee is praying. Finally, in the Upanishad, the devotee is praying that he wants to get the personal view of the Lord. That is why he's praying to, making an appeal to remove the impersonal Brahmajyoti. Hiranyamayana Patrena. Okay, so that's the 15th mantra. 16th mantra, you can read the purports, please. The connection is continuation of the prayers of the devotees in mantra 15. Prayer continues. Theme is, here the theme is begging for the Lord's mercy. The devotee begs for getting the mercy of the Lord. The 15th was making an appeal. 16th is to beg for the mercy. The Lord and the devotees are one and different simultaneously, and the Lord maintains all, especially his devotees. So this verse talks about the devotees identifying himself with the Lord, simultaneous, one and difference. So there is a word in this verse that says, that is very conducive for the impersonalists to confirm their theory that I and the Lord are same. We both are not different. Not different from the Lord. There is a word that comes across in this verse. So they're very thrilled to see such words. And they conclude that there is nothing that Lord is impersonal. Like he's same as me. Aham Brahmasmi, Soham, like that. So yeah. Mantra 16. Pusane karshe yama surya prajapatya yoharasmin samoha tejo yette rupam kalyanatamam tatte pashyami yosau asau purushasoham asmi. O my Lord, O primeval philosopher, maintainer of the universe, O regulative principle, destination of the pure devotees, well-wisher of the progenitors of mankind, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so that I can see your form of bliss. You are the eternal supreme personality of Godhead, like unto the sun as I am. So, soham asmi, as I am as you. I am as you, so you remove that. So in this case, to understand what soham asmi means, the Lord, we are all with the Lord in the same Satchit and Ananda. We are also Satchidananda Vigrahas, but the quantity is so small that is almost negligible, and we are not able to realize our true potency in the current state. Although we have that potency inside us, we are not able to realize. So from that perspective, the Lord and Prabhupada explains the sun and the sun rays. The sun and the sun rays are not differentiated. Because of the sun rays exist. Because of the Lord, we exist. So I am like you, meaning like I am also part of you, but they then take this, dissect this separately and say, me and the Lord are same. So there's none of, we both are not non-different. So there is a differentiation, quality and quantity. Quality is same, quantity is different. So yeah, we'll go into the word for word. Husan is O maintainer. Ekarshe, the primeval philosopher. Yama, the regulative principle. Surya, the destination of the Suris. Suris are the great devotees. Who are Suris? Great devotees. And Prajapatya, the well-wisher of the Prajapatis, progenitors of mankind. Yuha, kindly remove. Rasmin, the rays. Samuha, kindly withdraw. Teja, effulgence. Yet so that te your rupam form. Kalyana tamam, most auspicious. That te your pashami, I may see. Yaha, one who is. So asau, like the sun. Asau, that Purusha, personality of order. Saha, myself. Aham, I, asmi, at. That was one word for word. But in this verse, the devotee glorifies the Lord because he's defining or describing the Lord in so many ways. You are the maintainer, you are the primeval philosopher, regulative principle, destination of the devotees, you are the well-wisher of the Prajapatis. So he is describing the Lord. So he actually glorifies the Lord. Request for the effulgence to be removed. Again, he's repeatedly making this. In the last verse also, he made an appeal to remove that. Now again, he's making a repeated request. Request to be removed. Compares himself to the Lord. So if you see, again the speaker feelingly appeals to the Lord to remove the Brahmajyoti effulgence, obscuring his beautiful face, referring to him in different features in which he is kind to people. When we address a person and not as an inanimate thing, right? When we address, so all the qualities also indicate a person. So the qualities of the Lord are described. So this is how the Brahmajyoti looks. We can't really see anything. There is Lord behind it. We'll see the Krishna's form, but it is very dazzling and we cannot see with our eyes. So that's why the devotee is praying like that. So why is he asking for that? Because there is a relationship between him and the Lord. And he's indicating, I can only plead to someone only when I have a relationship with someone, right? So that is where it indicates that the Jiva is dependent on the Lord, and we saw that, the Sambhuti and Asambhuti. The Sambhuti is the Supreme Lord, and everyone else is Asambhuti. We are all dependent. So that's why in the dependence, we pray to the Lord, and that establishes our relationship. Indicates nature of relationship between the Lord and the Jiva. So all these are the aspects of this verse. There is glorifying the Lord, there is begging for the Lord's mercy, and that shows his relationship and shows his dependence as well. I want to see, but I cannot see because I am like unto you. That's what Soham Asmi. The oneness of the sun and its rays is similar to our oneness with Krishna. The rays and the sun are not different. Similarly, we and the Lord are not different. That is a simultaneous one and non-difference. Right? Yeah, but that is the philosophy we should understand from here. So now Prabhupada quote. Expand it a little bit. Good. So one time in his disciples, Achyutananda Swami, in the course of the discussion, Achyutananda Swami quoted one of the favorite scriptural references from the Ishopanishad, that the Mayavadis used to declare themselves as God. So Mayavadis usually like this particular verse, 16th. That is because there is that word. They say that the words from the 16th verse, Soham Asmi, I am that, mean that the living entity is the same as God. Now Prabhupada refuted that and saying that Asmi means it is my energy. If I say that I am ISKCON, what is wrong there? Because I have created this, therefore I say ISKCON means I am ISKCON. So what is wrong there? It is like that. By energy of Krishna, everything has come out. Therefore, it says, I am this, I am this, I am this, and I am this. See this, we can also find this in Harishori's Diary, volume 11, volume 1, January 4, 1976. So Prabhupada is refuting that particular misconception. If you say, I am Sohamasmi, I am as same as Lord, Mayavadi philosophy is refuting that. Me and the Lord are not different, and I am a servant of the Lord. Mayavadis think, I am the Lord, I am Brahmasmi. Sohamasmi. This is how they declare themselves. So by realizing the impersonal Brahmajyoti, one experiences the auspicious aspect of the Supreme. And by realizing the Paramatma, all-pervading feature of the Supreme, one experiences an even more auspicious enlightenment. But by meeting with the Supreme Personality of God and Himself face to face, the devotee experiences the most auspicious feature of the Supreme. The word Pusan, maintainer, is especially significant. For although the Lord maintains all beings, He specifically maintains His devotees. Which words is that Krishna says that I am specially take care of my devotees? Anybody can quote any verse? There might be a lot of verses. I specifically maintain my devotees, His devotees. Very famous. Second chapter? Or ninth chapter, sorry, ninth chapter. Huh?
Is know what you have and I carry what you lack.
Rakshayikshati Masuchaha. That was.
That is 16. Sorry, 1860s. 1860s. Sarvadharma. Sure.
Sir.
What Ishita is saying, Ananyas
I think 9.22.
Yeah, Ananyas Chintayantyoma Ejana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktamam Yoga I maintain the yoga and kshema of my devotees. I maintain what they have and carry what they lack. That's what he says. He specifically maintains his devotees. A very beautiful verse. So, in the purport, again, Prabhupada quotes Jiva Goswami's definition, Bhagavan. Bha means maintainer and guardian. Fully maintains his devotees, guides them on the path to devotional service from within and without. Within is by the mercy of the Super Soul, and without is by, yes? Any guesses? How does he maintain the devotees within and without? Okay, we'll get to that. Bhagavan. Sorry, Prabhu?
You said within as a Paramatma, without as a Guru.
Guru, yeah. Your spiritual master and devotees, yeah.
Master.
Bhagavan. Ga means guide, leader, or creator. Gives the desired result of devotional service by giving himself to the devotees. He helps them to see him face to face, and thus he helps them to reach him in Goloka Vrindavan. As a creator, can bestow all necessary qualifications on the devotee so that he can ultimately reach him. So that is Bhagavan. Van means every being lives in him, and he lives in every being. That is Van. Bhagavan. Ga is we saw. Ga means guide. Ba means maintainer. Ga means guide, leader, creator. Van means everyone is in him and he lives in every being. That is how it is Bhagavan word came. Other definition of Bhagavan also is there from Introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Anybody remembers? The famous regular. I hope you all know that.
Opulences.
Yeah.
Who
All
have
6 opulences.
6 opulences.
pain, beauty, knowledge, renunciation, strength.
Right. And wisdom? Wisdom is renunciation. Fame, beauty, knowledge, renunciation, wealth, and strength.
Yeah.
Those are the 6 opulences in full. That is also Bhagavan. That is given by Parashara Muni. This is given by Jiva Goswami. So the devotee is praying, "Oh my Lord, I depend on you as my guide and friend. So guide me." That is where he is saying this verse. So living entities are also differentiated expansions of the Lord's self. And because some of them desire to be lords and imitate the Supreme Lord, he allows them to enter into the cosmic creation with the option to fully utilize their propensity to lord it over. So this is how the we enter into the material world. When we want to enjoy, when we want to lord over something, the Lord says, in the spiritual world, there is no that such place that one dependent jiva can lord it over. So he has to go to a place where he can execute that feature. And that is this material world. There he can lord it over. Material nature. So there is the gulf of difference between the living entity and controlling God. The soul and the super soul, Paramatma, is a controller and the Atma is the control. Therefore, they are all in different categories. Because the Paramatma fully cooperates with the Atma, he is known as the constant companion of the living being. The Paramatma always accompanies the Atma, individual soul, and he is bestowing everything. All the desires are sanctioned by him. There is 5 features that happen, that take place for anything to happen. The Adhishtanam, the body, the 3 modes of material nature, the work, and the place, as well as finally the Supreme Lord sanction. So without the sanction, the final one, not all those can be there, but the Lord has to sanction everything. And that is where that is how he is accompanying the living entity constantly. From darkness to light, where it says the Lord always helps the pure devotee by imparting necessary knowledge within their hearts. And thus, out of his special favor, he dissipates all darkness of ignorance, which is this verse that is hinting here. It shows 10:11. To show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge, darkness born of ignorance. What is the verse? Tesham. Well, this was a memorization verse.
Mataji, this wasn't.
This was Tesham satadayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami bhukti yogam tam yenamam upayantute. I show them special mercy by dwelling in their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge, remove the darkness born of ignorance. And in the Katha Upanishad also 1-23, the Lord can be known only by those whom he favors and not by anyone else. Such special favors are bestowed upon his pure devotee only. Shri Ishopanishad thus points to the favor of the Lord, which is beyond the purview of the Brahmajyoti. So he's begging for the mercy of the Lord to take him away from this darkness get into the presence of the Lord. He's asking for a favor from the Lord beyond the purview of Brahmajyoti. So that was the 16th verse. Okay. Are there any questions? I know I'm going fast, but not really. Can't do much than this in these verses. Unless you want to read the purports continuously and then get to the point. Are there any questions? I would like to pause.
Good, Mataji.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, we'll continue then. Mantra 17. So these are next set of verses where the devotee is asking again, he's how to give up the body. This is this verse. Appeal to see the world and then begging for the Lord's mercy. And then this is how to give up one's life. This is this mantra 17. The art of dying. And the 18th verse talks about, again, remove the obstacles. Please remove the obstacles, we'll say in the 18th verse. So 17th verse is very important in a devotee's life. The art of dying. Okay. 17 and 18 prayers by the sincere devotees for the Lord's protection. Correct connection in the further continuation of his prayers. The devotee, having taken shelter of the personal aspect of the Supreme Lord and desiring to see his form, mantra 16, Now in mantra 17, prays to the Lord to remember him. And when all the time as well as at the time of death. Main theme. While the body is made up of material substance, the spirit soul is eternally an individual and through the process of devotional service can re-establish a spiritual relationship with Krishna. So, when at the time of death, the devotee prays to the Lord so that he can re-establish his relationship with the Lord. Similar to the theme from the chapter 8 Bhagavad Gita. These are also beautiful verses, and you can see the last two lines, how nicely they rhyme, and very nice to even recite. Mantra 17. Vayuranilam amritam atedam vasmantam shariram Om krato smara kritam smara krato smara kritam smara. Let this temporary body be burnt to ashes, and let the air of life be merged with the totality of air. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you. So the devotee is begging for the Lord's mercy, and this is the art how one should give up their body before. So it's praying that the temporary body is now burnt to ashes, will be burnt, let it be burnt, and let the air of life be merged in the totality of air. But Lord, please remember all that I have done for you, all the sacrifice and all that I have done for you. Please remember and give me that, make me the beneficiary of your mercy. Right? Please remember all that I have done for you. Just begging for the Lord's mercy. So in this mantra, the living entity prays to enter into the spiritual kingdom of God after relinquishing his material body and material air. The devotee prays to the Lord to remember his activities and the sacrifices he has performed before his material body is turned into ashes. He makes this prayer at the time of death with full consciousness of his past deeds and of the ultimate goal. So this is how the devotee has to make a prayer to the Lord just before, but in most cases, not most cases, in some cases, it might be the devotee might not be able to pray to the Lord because of the condition the devotee is in. So what happens? Will the Lord not consider his services and sacrifices? The Lord comes to his rescue, right? At that time. So even if he is not able to remember because of his bodily situation, but the Lord remembers everything. And Lord does not give up on anyone. Either to such situations, he will send a devotee. If there's a devotee who is giving up his body is not in a condition, he'll send devotees so that he can remember the Lord. He can make the devotee who's like giving up the body, leave their body in Krishna consciousness. So in this instance, there is a real story. This devotee, Prabhupada's disciple, very brahmachari, never married or anything. So he's just continuing the service of Prabhupada, going to temple every day and doing all his services, book distribution, every day going to Mangalarti and preaching, just being in the temple to do whatever anybody has requirement. Like usually you can see some devotees who is doing that. Very strict with the sadhana. So he rides to the temple every day and goes back on his cycle as well. So one day he was going and he was hit by a car. So he's almost in the stage of giving up his body. And how can he remember anything at that time? He is unconscious, already a lot of blood going. Of course, there are people who have assembled, maybe police has been called. I don't know what's the situation. But it so happened, this accident happened in front of the devotee's home. See how nicely the Lord has arranged. So this is the way the Lord arranges. So the devotee rushed out of the home. They saw something commotion and they realized this devotee who comes to our temple. I mean, he's a very famous in the sense everyone knows him. He's a brahmachari who's there in the temple for all mangalartis, all services. But this is the situation right now he's in. And they came out and they chanted for him. And he left the body there in front in the assembly of the devotees and the onlookers as he's hearing the Mahamantra. So that's how the Lord takes care of these devotees, even though devotee might not be in a position, but the Lord. But if one is able to, they should chant this mantra. This particular mantra has to be recited just before giving up the body. This is from the Vedas. Okay. So now the highest development of one's spiritual sense is described in this mantra. One should give up the material body which will be turned to ashes and allow the air of life to merge into the eternal reservoir of air. But the highest perfection of such changes occurs only when the living entity is able to give up the material body altogether as suggested in the mantra and enter into the spiritual atmosphere where he can develop a completely different type of body, a spiritual body, which will never has to meet death or change. So that's a spiritual body. So the devotees, sometimes death occurs in the families, and the person who has died might have done something. Definitely, each one does something good in their life. Each one has prayed to their capacity, chanted the names according to their how they have developed the taste for the Lord. So everything they would have done, but they might have done some materialistic things as well. So these are the people who part of our families, friends, and whoever. So what can a devotee do to such people? In devotees, anyway, we chant the mantra and devotees assemble and all that. But to everyone, even for the devotees, even for the non-devotees, everyone in the family or wherever we experience this situation of someone passing away, just before the body is offered to the fire, we can chant these two prayers. These two prayers are chanted just before the body is given to the fire, the 17th and the 18th. So because the person who has given up might not have prayed this mantra, so the devotees pray on behalf of the soul, departed soul, begging the Lord to, on behalf of the soul, they are begging the Lord so that the devotee get all the benefit. The body and the soul get all the benefit. Whatever they have, let the body be turned to ashes, let the life air be turned into totality of air. My Lord, you are the beneficiary. Please remember all that I have done. This is what the prayers the devotees do for the family members or any well wishes that we come across and when we happen to visit their funeral. This is time of death. One who is completely under the rule of material nature remembers the heinous activities he performed during the existence of the material body, and consequently gets another body after death. The Bhagavad Gita 8.6 confirms this truth. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajati ante kaleva. Tam tam eveti konteya sadasad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Thus the mind carries the living entity's propensities into the next life. This is what happens time of birth, at the time of death. But the devotee, because he remembers the Lord, either by chanting that mantra or by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, devotees are recommended to chant Hare Krishna, we will enter into the Lord's abode in the next life, the spiritual body. So these two lines, Om Krato Smara Kritam Smara Krato Smara Kritam Smara. Krato, supreme beneficiary. Kritam, all that I have done for you. Krato is a beneficiary. Kritam is the work that I have done. Oh my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices. Because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you. So the devotees can also pray on behalf of the soul in this way. So the devotees, however, develop a sense of love for Godhead by practicing devotional service to the Lord. Even at the time of death, a devotee does not remember his service to the Lord. The Lord does not forget him. The story that I just said is a great the Lord's love for the devotee, how it can show the Lord's love for the devotee. There can be there are many such instances where the Lord comes even by the mercy of the devotee, by the mercy, the Lord can give his special benefit. Just the soul might not have done much, but the devotee's presence there can cause so much to the benefit of the passing soul. In one instance, there is a devotee Prabhupada disciple. He works in Toronto only. He works in the sick kids, with the sick kids, basically. So he keeps his phone ringtone, Prabhupada's chanting. How nice it is. So whenever the phone rings, Prabhupada's chanting comes out. So if he is traveling in the bus or anything, he was saying that he will let it go for 1 whole minute, at least for one few mantras to happen, so that people around can hear at least. They'll not know, they'll not even recognize the sound, but at least they're able to hear. So in one such instance, he's a respiratory caregiver. He resuscitates the breathing, is a caregiver basically, works in the hospital with the kids. So a 10-year-old boy, he was sick and he was about to pass his life. No, it was fine, but his heart stopped, it seems. His heart stopped. So they had about 2 to 3 minutes before it can be resuscitated. So he rushed and he was doing that therapy, whatever they do, like pressing on the heart to resuscitate the heart so that the heart comes up and he starts working on its own. They tried, everyone else rushed. Immediately at that time, he doesn't keep his phone on silent, it seems. He lets the phone ring. So immediately, as he was doing, his phone rang. And what is the sound that is coming out of it? Prabhupada's chanting Hare Krishna Maha. And this boy, he didn't live, it seems. The boy never lived. But between the time of when the heart stops until the soul leaves the body, it is about 2 to 3 minutes, it seems, because he was narrating the story. There are 2 to 3 minutes that are there between the time of heart stop and body leaving and soul leaving. So during that time, as he was resuscitating, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra was heard by everyone and as well as the soul. We know the last organ that leaves the body, or the sense that leaves, is sense of hearing. So hearing remains till the last. So this devotee this boy could hear the sound of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for a few times at least before he left the body. So how nice it is, right? This is the mercy of the devotee. The boy, we don't know what he has done, but by the mercy of the devotee, who is Prabhupada disciple, who is carrying Prabhupada in his heart, he could pass on that mercy to this soul. So this is how it works. Either you pray on behalf of the soul or let the soul pray for themselves. It works. It's absolute. That is how it is absolute. So no, we have to practice. So that doesn't mean only at the end of life we remember. That doesn't happen. The entire Bhagavad Gita is there for us. Whatever activities you do, that comes up at the end of life. Very rare cases, special cases, mercy cases, they'll get the special mercy. May not for everyone. Special souls might get it. But everyone has the opportunity to practice while they are still alive. Right? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, one should regard a devotee of Krishna to be on the right path of the saints, even though such a devotee may be seen to be sudurachara, a person who with a loose character, or one should try to understand the real purport of the word sudurachara. Where is this word coming from? Sudurachara. Yeah.
No, like it comes in Bhagavad Gita when Suduracharo api chet, something that he will not
30-31.
fall down.
Yes. Apiche suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabhag sadureva samantavya samyak vyahasito hi saha kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvam shantum nigachati kauntaya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashyati. In that regard, whenever a conditioned soul, a devotee or someone who falls down, because he has strong determination, you should not consider his fall down as fallen down. We should give him that benefit of doubt because his determination is fixed. So to such devotees, Krishna says, my devotee never fails. Declare it boldly, Arjuna, my devotee never fails. Never perishes. A conditioned soul has to act for the double functions, maintenance of the body as well as for self-realization. So by maintenance of the body, if we think that devotee is materialist, or if he is not, like we have to take care of our body. It's important. From our verses also we learned, right? The 9th, 10th, 11th series, we learned that the devotee has to maintain the nations also. He has to develop the nations also. That is, nations means maintenance of the body. That is also important because we need to keep the body and soul together. So to maintain the body, if we consider that the devotee has fallen, then that is not really fallen. Right? And a conditioned soul has to act for double functions, maintenance of the body as well as self-realization. It is important that we do. So how do we know that someone really only accidentally falls? Because he's fixed in his determination, we don't consider him as fallen. Right? Sometimes you may see a devotee eating something. Fall down means the determination fails. So it might be an accidental mistake. So because he's determined in his faith, we should not consider him as Sudharachara. And real fall down means he has lost his faith. That is real fall down. If someone loses faith in Krishna, that is real fall down. Yet still, he will not lose anything. Whatever he has done up until that point will be retained fully intact and be awarded to him in his next journey. So that is how it continues. So there are 9 processes of devotional service. Some Prahlad Maharaj prays to Krishna Nrsimhadev. Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Anyone wants to read the translation?
I read, Mataji.
Yeah, please do.
Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of the Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. Thank you.
These are the process of 9 devotional service. Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. We can do any one or all 9 and perfect our life. So hearing and chanting of the signs of God is a basic principle of devotional service. Anyone wants to point out who are the devotees who are epitomizing each of these angas of devotional service? Shavanam, starting with.
Shravanam is hearing, right, Mataji?
Hearing, yeah.
Maharaj Parikshit.
Maharaj Parikshit. Kirtanam.
Shukadev Goswami.
Sure. Vishnu Smaranam.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj. Okay. Yeah. Padasevanam.
Lakshmi.
Lakshmi.
Archanam. Ritu Maharaj. Comes in 4th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Vandanam. Akrura. Akrura, when he visited Vrindavan to bring Krishna Balram to Mathura, he offered beautiful prayers. He couldn't resist falling down on the floor in Vrindavan. Wherever he saw, because he could see only the footprints of Krishna on the sand everywhere. And everywhere he was only doing the Dandavat Pranas as he entered into Vrindavan. So he is the Acharya or the embodiment of Vandan. Dasyam.
Hanumanji.
Hanumanji. Sakyam.
Balramji.
Arjuna.
Sakyam is what?
Arjun.
Friendship.
Friendship. Arjun.
Arjun.
Atma Nivedana.
Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj. So what did he do, Bali Maharaj? Bali Maharaj is very nice pastime. Bali Maharaj, he was fighting against the Devatas, and Aditi. Aditi is the mother of demigods. She prayed to Lord Vishnu. Her husband gave her a mantra, Kusana Vrata, Payovrata she had to do. So when she did, she wanted the Lord to appear in her womb. So her sons, the Devatas, can be reinstated. Sorry, this is not Payovrata. But she did special vrata so that the Lord can be born from her womb. She did that much of austerities. Diti and Kashyapa. So she wanted her son to be son and her sons, Indra and her sons, want to be reinstated because Prahlad Maharaj is grandson, Bali Maharaj, became so powerful that he even overtook the entire Swargaloka. He overtook them and he removed the devatas from their position. He was that powerful, became, because he's a devotee as well. Very, very powerful. So, at that time, Vaman Dev appears from the womb of Aditi and says, then, okay, I'll reinstate your sons. So he enters into the assembly as he was doing yajna. So many yajnas he does. As he enters into the assembly, they could see there is another sun coming out from the horizon because the yajna happens in the vast, vast open grounds. And because it has to be done also in the early hours. When they are doing this yajna, Sukracharya notices this effulgent boy is coming, is none other than Vishnu. Bali Maharaj also doesn't know at that time. Bali Maharaj is seeing what is another sun coming out from that place because sun is already coming out because yajnas are done in the morning. One more sun is coming because the bodily effulgence of Vaman Dev is so effulgent that they could see the another sun coming out and he's coming slowly. They could see a small Brahmana boy, just that much tall, 2 feet, coming with a kamandalu and a stick and a umbrella. That is what he carries. And he enters into the arena. When he sees Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj offers him a seat, respectfully receives him, offers him a seat, and asks him, what can I do for you? Vamandev says, I'm a Brahman, I don't need a lot of things. My maintenance is very simple. I only need 3 paces of land. Bali Maharaj says, oh, 3 paces, I can give you much more. Just ask. Brahmana boy, Vamandev says, no, I'm good. I only need these 3 paces. So fine, you give me the 3 paces. Then with one, okay, I'll give you all your boon is granted. So take the 3 paces. Then Vamandev expands himself, just like in this picture over here, he expands so much that he covers the entire planetary systems, the entire, with his upper planetary systems, and the other leg, everything else, from there until the lower. And there is one more step that he has to give. Then Bali Maharaj couldn't offer because he is already conquered, upper and lower. There's nothing for else to be conquered. Then Bali Maharaj says, I cannot offer. Please, Lord, put your leg on my head. So he puts his leg on his head and he'll be taken to the lower planetary systems. But before that, what happens is, Lord ties him as a criminal, literally criminal. He ties him with the ropes. Bali Maharaj is tied with a rope for the offense of not fulfilling the last pay, the boon that he has given to Lord by giving the 3 paces. He could only take the 2 paces of land. The 3rd pace was not offered, could not be offered. For that reason, he was tied as a criminal. You know what Bali Maharaj was thinking at that time? I deserve this. That is so total surrender. That is Atma Nivedana. He gave everything that was there in his belonging, and yet he suffered the infamy of a criminal, right? Because he couldn't fulfill the boon completely. And he stayed in full, complete devotion, even in that situation, totally surrender unto the Lord. Oh, my Lord, do whatever you like to do with me. I am the criminal. I deserve this very much. Can anybody of us think of being in this situation? We give an offering, we give something from our side. If the one whom we are giving asks us more, we immediately get defensive, offended. What are you asking? I already gave whatever I can give. You're asking more. Asking is not right. So we start preaching, we start doing everything else that we can do. First of all, we won't part even with one small penny extra. Then on the top of it, we start preaching and doing everything. And what if they start punishing us because we didn't give them what they asked? We won't even able to take it. Here, Bali Maharaj is able to pray to the Lord, I deserve this. I deserve this punishment as a criminal. So that is Atma Nivedana. That is the epitome of Atma Nivedana. That is Bali Maharaj. That is why he's in that list. So hearing and chanting of the signs of God is a basic principle of devotional service. And at the end of purport, also Prabhupada writes this verse, Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smritavyascha Chetata Bhayam. Translation. O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries. This is what Sukadeva Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj, descendant of Bharata. So one should constantly, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear, glorify, and remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and savior from all miseries. So how do we do that? Unless one is accustomed to devotional practice, what will he remember at the time of death? When the body is dislocated, and how can he pray to the Almighty Lord to remember his sacrifices? So it's not possible to remember this verse, this mantra, unless we have practiced it a few times or throughout our life. So it's not possible to remember it. Some people may say, okay, devotional service is for the later part of the life when we have enjoyed and everything, when we don't have anything to do, that time we'll do devotional service. Not possible. It's not possible. Krishna is not that cheap that you will do to him whatever you can do at the end of life. He'll take it and he'll be obtained to you. It's not possible. You need to give the best part of your life, best part. Then Krishna will come by his mercy. On his own accord, if he desires to. The sacrifice means denying the interest of the senses. One has to learn the art by employing the senses in the service of the Lord during one's lifetime. One can utilize the results of such practice at the time of death. So by practicing, by sacrificing throughout life, you become a rightful heir, claimant. You become a claimant for that. Because you have done it, you have a standing in front of the Lord to even beg for it at the end. The act of offering something to a deity in proportion to homage, that's called sacrifice. Forfeiture of something highly valued for the sake of one considered to have a greater value or claim. Relinquishment of something or at less than its presumed value. So sacrifice definitions. So sacrifice is something that you can give up, part with, offer, that which is of some value. Mostly what do we sacrifice? What are the things that we offer as sacrifice? Lakshmi, we sacrifice some, we offer some Lakshmi, and that is a sacrifice we are doing. Krishna says in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you give your mind, give me your heart first, give me your heart and mind, because that's most difficult. That's hard. If you can give me that, you are done. You have conquered. You have a chances of conquering Krishna. So that is mind. Then he says, give intelligence. We cannot work so that you can use your intelligence in coming to me. If you cannot do, Krishna says, work for me. Use your senses. Use your hands, legs, hand, legs, the working senses. First of all, give your mind, your intelligence. If not, give your working senses. Go to the temple, do some service. If you cannot do, offer some sacrifice, he says. Part with Lakshmi. Give some donation. If you cannot do that. So that is sacrifice. So these are the various ways in which you can do. Slides I have. So this is exactly summarizing the whole thing, what we have read. Transcending bodily death. How to do that? Giving up material body, accepting spiritual body. And how is that acceptance of, how can you accept the spiritual body? Only when you have developed a relationship with the Lord throughout your life, you can get a spiritual body. Otherwise, it's not possible. Another material body is giving up material body, accepting the spiritual body, and the relationship with the Supreme Spirit, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these are different ways we can go through, but we don't have to. Summary of what we have just read. How can we develop? We can go to this one. By avoiding modern situation, which is only sleeping and indulging in sex, daytime only earning. Only, I won't say that we should not. We only do only this. And there's no time to talk about God and to dismiss about God. This is how we cannot develop. But by hearing and chanting, we can develop. By engaging godly acts, we can do. Not wasting a second, these are some things that we can do in the service of the Lord. Benefits of devotional service utilizes the results at the time of death, when the body is located. How can so by doing all these things, we can gain or exchange that check that we have invested throughout our life. We can exchange that for the pure devotional service with the Lord at the end of death, at the time of death. So that is the mantra 17. Okay, we have few more minutes. We can continue for another 10 minutes, and if we're not able to in 10 minutes, we'll continue on Saturday. Only that portion. Okay. Okay, mantra 18, complete surrender. So here, after understanding the art of dying, now we'll understand how one completely surrenders to the Lord. The devotee is praying to transcend bodily death and wanting the Lord to remember him. Mantra 17, where he said, Om Karto Smara Kritam Smara. For this journey back to Godhead, he is now requesting in Mantra 8 the Lord to direct him on proper path and free him from reactions to part sins and protect him so that he can go without hindrance. The Lord purifies the conditioned souls of sinful reactions in order to allow them to advance in self-realization. Lord also provides directions to those who are aspiring to realize him. That is the main theme. Mantra 8. Agnenaya supatarayasman Vishwani deva vayunani vidwan Yodhyasma juhuranayeno Bhuishtam te nama uttim videma. O my Lord, as powerful as fire, omnipotent one, now I offer you all obeisances, falling on the ground at your feet. O my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the reactions to my past sins so that there will be no hindrance to my progress. So like I said, these two prayers we can offer on behalf of the soul at the time of offering the body to the fire. Mantra 18. The concluding prayer of the devotee who desires to achieve Krishna's mercy. The speaker humbly throws himself at the lotus feet of Krishna, Lord, and begs for guidance and for help to become free from sins and sinful tendencies. Surrender. So what is a surrender? By surrendering to the Lord and praying for his causeless mercy, the devotee can progress on the path of complete self-realization. So there is effort and mercy. What is effort and mercy? Pastime. We are approaching that pastime time soon.
Damodar Leela.
Damodar Leela is the perfect example for effort and mercy. Whose effort and what mercy?
Yashoda Maiya's effort to bind
Krishna. And
and
Krishna giving mercy to her, he could be bound by her. So surrendering, so that's where we need that mercy from the Lord based on our efforts. Importance of human life. Brahmanical qualities. One has to develop the Brahmanical qualities. And if one is not able to fulfill their path in the current life, they'll be given opportunity to continue that in the 41 and 42. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, whoever had yoga brashta, who have not completed, they'll be born in the rich aristocratic families or in Brahmin families. Or they will be born in a devotee family at the end. If he has done even more. So if he has done some devotional service, he'll be given an opportunity to burn in a rich and aristocratic and Brahmana families. If he has done to a great extent and not fulfilled, then he'll be given an opportunity to do as a devotee itself. He'll become a devotee in the next life. 42. And then one has to surrender to Krishna. Sarvadharman pariteja mamekam sharanam vraja. Amtam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami basuchaha. That's what Krishna says. And Lord also gives direction from within. One who has thus given up other engagements and taken full shelter at the lotus feet of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is very dear to the Lord. Indeed, if such a surrendered soul accidentally commits some sinful activity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated within everyone's heart, immediately takes away the reaction to such sin. That is 11th canto, 5th chapter, 42 verse also says, apart from the 9:31 and 32 as well. And Lord also gives direction to the non-devotees, right? Without his sanction, nothing moves. So in this mantra of Ishopanishad, the Lord prays to the Lord, so the devotee prays to the Lord to rectify him from within his heart. The err is human. To err is human. A conditioned soul is very often apt to commit mistakes. And the only remedial measure to take against such unintentional sins is to give oneself to the lotus feet of the Lord, so that he may guide one to avoid such pitfalls. So, we all know that we all commit mistakes. We are prone to 4 defects, one of which is to commit mistakes. The only remedial measure is to take up the such unintentional sins is to give oneself to the lotus feet of the Lord, so that he may guide one to avoid such pitfalls. So how does the Lord give direction? From without as Guru, from and Shastras and Vaishnavas, from within as a super soul, Chaitya Guru. From without as a Guru, spiritual master, and from within as a Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru is Krishna himself as a super soul, because he is the one who guides, directs. So, as per Ramayana, in Ramayana, Lord Ram says, one who surrenders unto me even once. So let's read that. It is the English part. Lord Ramachandra said, I cannot refuse to receive under any circumstances one who has come to me in a friendly spirit. Even if there is wickedness in him, his acceptance is not reprehensible in the eyes of good people. That is text 3. It is my eternal principle that if any living beings take shelter of me even once, saying, I am yours, then I award that person freedom from all fear. So this is what Lord Ram says. So if one wants to come to me, like Vibhishan came to Krishna, Lord Ram, and the other people in Ram's assembly, like Sugriva, Angada, they were not very favorable, because they were thinking that him to be a spy, and even if he comes, he's only do some espionage with us and maybe goes and gives all the locations where we are our plans. Then Lord Ram says, then he asks Hanuman. Hanuman says, my lord, if someone comes to you, you just accept him, because you are the supreme lord. Whoever comes to you, accept him. So then he goes with, he says, yes, what Hanuman is saying, right. I cannot refuse to receive anyone under any circumstances. One who has come to me with a friendly spirit, even if there is wickedness in him, his acceptance is not reprehensible in the eyes of good people. This is the bhava. He only takes in the bhava. Bhavagrahi Janardana. And once you say that, oh Lord, I am yours, that means you are taken care for your life. This is what he says in text 2. Sakrit eva prapanya tasmin iti na yachate abhayam sarva bhutebhyo dadami etat vratam mama. It is my eternal principle, my vratam mama, my eternal principle, that if any living being takes shelter of me even once, saying I am yours, then I award that person freedom from all fear. So, don't be fearful of anything. If you even have said once, Lord to Lord Ram, I am yours, he'll take care of you. So, next 2 days later, it is Vijayadashmi. You can pray to Lord Ram to grant you all that fearlessness. Right? That is the day when he kills Arjuna, Vijayadashmi. Sorry, Ravana. Sorry. The entire process is hinted in the Mantra 18, and Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 17 to 20 explains it further. So Mantra 18 is talking about to remove all the obstacles, and how the obstacles are removed by daily following this process is given in the chapter 2, canto 1, 17 to 20. I think some of these verses we recite in the beginning, before the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Shinvatam swakata Krishna punyashavana kirtana Hridayantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti surutsata. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaye bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nishtiki. Tadarajastamo bhava kamalobhadayaschaye chetayeter anavrityam sitam satte prasidati. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha. Bhagavat tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. These are verses 17 to 20 from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto 2. Very beautiful. Can all recite, remember. Even if you just keep on saying them, you'll remember them. These are the verses this is the scientific process of how the devotional service that we are doing by regular attendance. Shanmatam swakata Krishna punya shavana kirtana. That is the first verse, right? Very scientifically, regularly, scientifically proven, these verses, which states that by regular attendance in the Srimad Bhagavatam classes on every day, what happens is all that is troublesome to the heart is completely destroyed. And And the devotional service is established as an irrevocable fact. What is revocable? That can go back. But irrevocable means it cannot go back. That is how it becomes established in your heart. So these verses explain that. And everything that is tinged with mode of passion and ignorance are removed. Mode of goodness establishes. And you become satisfied. Evam prasanna manato bhagavad bhakti yogata bhagavad tattva vijnanam. Vijnanam, scientific knowledge develops. What is jnanam? Knowledge. What is vijnanam? Realized knowledge. The realized knowledge gets from the heart. This is how the science of Krishna consciousness works. By giving yourself daily to these classes, by giving them daily at a regulated time, doing something on a regular basis in a regulated fashion, this process works very, very scientifically. So, you all have to take up this process in a very regulated way for it to work. If you say, I chant few days in a certain number, in other few days, I don't hear one day, I don't hear, read one day, don't, it won't. It has to be done regularly in a regulated fashion. Even if you keep it for 15 minutes, read. So it has to happen regulatedly. Then the irrevocable fact will be established in the heart. That is what these verses explain. And all the obstacles will be removed from the heart. Okay, again, 9 stages of devotional service explained with the verses. First verse, Shraddha. 9 stages of bhakti, not the 9 process of devotional service. 9 stages of bhakti. What are the 9 stages? First is Shraddha, Adav Shraddha. Adav Shraddha means having little faith. There is some faith, you fan that spark. You don't say, okay, you only small faith, what can you do? No, just fan the spark. So when you fan the spark, it glows into flame, right? So, Shraddha. Start with that. Sadhu Sangha. So with that small spark of faith, you come into the association of devotees. In the association of devotees who only chant and glorify the Lord, you learn that process. And then you start to do the Bhajana Kriya on yourself. Bhajana Kriya, performances of devotion service. With that, what happens is the churning of the heart happens. Anartha Nivritti, everything that is troublesome in the heart will be removed. And when it is going off, it will come up. As you are stirring some muddy, something that you have to remove the dirt, which is at the bottom, you're scraping the dirt. What happens? It comes up, right? So that's what happens in the Anartha Nivritti. So you might experience some unpleasant things, some situations to do with the mind. So that is Anartha Nivritti. Some purification happens. When it is purifying stage, we experiences some suffering, which is required. That this is a special mercy of the Lord. Purification is sometimes has to go through some suffering. That is purification. So that is Anartha Nivritti. Then when there is that stage is passed, you get established in full steady, like Nishtha. You have some regulation. You do it. Steadiness is there. And in that steadiness, you develop the taste. As you keep doing it regularly in that steady state, you develop the taste. That is Ruchi. In that Ruchi, deep attachment happens. That is Asakti. Attachment. You're so attached. Nothing can separate you. Whatever can come, but you are attached to devotional service. And in that attachment, you will experience the feelings of devotion. That is Bhava, and final stages. After a long time, you will attain the Prem. So these are 9 stages of devotional service. So these hindrances will be gone in this process. With the little faith we have, get into the association of devotees, do the practices, Anartha Nivritti happen, become steady, develop the taste, develop the attachment. You will get the feelings of love of God and love of God. So, Mantra 18 purport, the devotee becomes fully enlightened by virtue of his devotional service, and thus he comes to know the path of the Lord and the way to attain him. As all doubts diminish, he becomes a pure devotee. So, all the hindrances, Mantra 18, where it says, remove all the hindrances, means he'll remove all that is troublesome to the heart. The conclusion is the highest perfection is to know the Bhagavan feature of the absolute truth, begging for his mercy for loving service. This is the conclusion of Mantra 8. What are we doing? We're trying to beg the Lord for the mercy, for loving devotional service. So Shri Ishopanishad, the knowledge that brings one nearer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Shri Ishopanishad, where we started off with the Lord is whole, complete whole, Purnamada Purnamidam, and we went through the journey of a devotee through various ways, how he experiencing the knowledge about the Lord. Because this is not Srimad Bhagavatam, as we know from the day one we're speaking Shrunvatam Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. It's not like that, right? This is Upanishad. So in that, how the devotee is understanding the Supreme Lord as a Purnam, Ishavasha principle, then understanding the Lord's potencies, inconceivable potencies, developing the knowledge, developing the base of bhakti, worship. Then these 4 set of verses which we saw how to appeal to the Lord to remove that impersonal effulgence. So we can see the personal form of the Lord, where we can see and beg for his mercy and ask for his, and understand how one can pray at the time of death and ask him to remove all the sins in our heart and all the hindrances that we experience, so that we can get into the front of the Lord. So this is from the Ishopanishad's perspective. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So that's where we are. 9.5. I know I went, not covering entire purports because that can take days if we have to only do that, and it won't keep our attention so much as well. So you can read those purports, and on Saturday we will have a quick recap of both the texts. Go from there. Any questions? Okay, if not, then we will conclude. We'll meet on Saturday. That will be-
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
So next Saturday would be the last class, right?
Yes.
Okay. And 19th is the CBA. So the format and everything will be similar to
Yeah,
last
similar
one.
to last module.
And also, like, can you share the slides also for the nectar of instruction, I think, because those slides were very nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I only sorry, can you please? So I only made for the last 4 verses, so I couldn't for the other because we went through the purports. So just be satisfied with what we have for Ishopanishad. And I also only did for a few for a nectar.
Yeah, I mean, but whatever you shared in the slides is actually very nice. So
Yeah, I'll share. I'll
for-
probably put it in our chat. Whoever wants can take it. Okay.
Mataji, you said that the test would be similar to the last one, but I didn't take the last one, so I don't know what that means.
Can you check one of the students? They have taken about 3 exams.
Oh, check with one of the girls?
Yeah, check.
Okay. Sure, Mataji. Yes, thank you.
It'll be test is not usually hard. Some multiple choice questions, some 1 or 2 marks questions, and 1, 2 or 2. There will be choice. For big answers, we'll get choice. For small answers, you may not get choice, but because they are small. 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, 5 marks, something like that. So paper will be simple. Writing part will not be too much. You don't have to write elaborate answers. Keep it short. Some people wrote a lot of elaborate answers, even for the questions were very straightforward last time. So don't do that. Don't waste a lot of time in writing for the exam at that time. Like, understand the topic as per the question, answer as per the question. Don't do it don't overdo. Okay, so we'll pause it for the day here, and we'll meet on Saturday for the final. Okay. Thank you. Krishna. Have a good night and rest of the day.
Mataji.